The morning MAO right now. Okay, let's go. All right, good morning to everybody. Today is the 25th of June. Thank God it's Friday. Yes, today is the day that we should rest. Okay, I need that rest. Right, I really need that rest. And the thing is, today the caption, I know that by saying this kind of like, being very eccentric here, because to me, I'm thinking that, right, the Dow Jones is now at a crucial flip point, all right? It's a very crucial flip point. Okay, all right, so I explain to you more in details, and I'll tell you why I see that. Okay, of course, again, I'm not saying the market will crash. In fact, I give you 2 points today. It could be all the way all-time high coming, or it could be actually a pullback. All right, so I'll share more on this very shortly, but let's look at the market right now. Okay, let's go. Okay, you can see that the market today, the Dow is still moving higher. And let's look at the Hong Kong market, which just opened. Okay, Hong Kong has just opened, but immediately after it opened, it seems like it's come back to the below OP straight away. So not too sure what's happening. Let's look at the China market right now. Okay, China market. Okay, China market today slightly gapped down this morning, a bit surprising because we saw the Dow Jones up, right? Okay, so it's kind of surprising to see the Dow Jones, the China market is actually trading slightly below the yesterday's closing price. Quite surprised. And Hong Kong, let's take a look right now. Okay, Hong Kong this morning has gapped up, as expected. Okay, yesterday closed at about 28,948. This morning, opening price about 40 points higher. Okay, because the thing is this, the NASDAQ didn't follow through yesterday, though the Dow is up. So I did mention to you that the Dow is actually, the NASDAQ has a bigger influence over the Hang Seng market. But nonetheless, you can see that the market still now is trading above OP right now, and it's above the MA30. So overall, it's quite a positive for the market, okay, for the Hong Kong market. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, just trying to see whether I can try again to see my laptop. Okay, guys, if the laptop version is able to function, do let me know, all right? Let me know. Thank you very much, okay? All right, good morning to you, Eric. Okay, let's go to the market. Okay, so before we start this morning MAO, once again, please, disclaimer as applied. All right, please understand this. Do trade carefully, consider your financial condition, and then engage into trading with expectation that you may lose money. All right, do understand this. This is very, very, very important. Okay. All right, now this is a very nice cartoon that I pulled up on the internet. I liked it very much. Well, the Federal loves the banks, no doubt about it. All right. Now, the thing is this, we just saw the news that now they have the banks have passed this stress test, and now Federal Reserve is allowing them to buy back more shares. Okay, so immediately itself, right? This is like telling the banks that, hey, you know what? Okay, use the taxpayer money now and do what you do. Okay, so that's why this cartoon really, really, hit it nicely. All right, you can see that the banks are very happy because they can use the taxpayer money to make money from the market. So you think about this, how it works, very simple. Imagine that I have no money, right? Okay, I buy the stocks first. Then after that, I use taxpayers' money to buy stocks from the market, and obviously the stock price will go up, and I can benefit from it. That's one. Number two, because of doing that itself, right, my bonus actually increases, my commission increases. Oh my goodness, every benefit you can think of, it could be lovely, a lot of money. All right. So that is what is actually happening right now. And that's why the banks are very, very happy. They're going to be very happy people dealing with the Federal Reserve. Okay. So that is what's happening right now. So likely there's a possibility that the stock market, okay, sorry, let me just bring it in now. There's a good possibility that there's a good possibility that the stock market will be trading even higher in the time to come. All right. So that is what actually really happening now in the financial market. Okay. All right. Now, this is where I'm trying to share with you why I see the potential big movement coming up, all right, in the market. All right, let me just try to refresh my screen again. Yeah, hold on. If you guys have any confirmation that you guys can see the revision, then I can don't use my handphone because it's not actually having the split view here and there. Yeah, it's still having problem. Okay, no choice. So my reply to you in questions will be a bit delayed because I'm actually toggling between a few equipments right now. Kind of tough. Okay, all right. Okay, iPad no issue. It's only laptop. Funny. Okay. Now look at this is the Dow Jones chart since last year pandemic. All right. Now look at the RSI. You can see at the bottom, right? So basically the 5 days ago was a lovely time to buy into the market. So remember this, in a bull market condition, if the RSI hits 30, all right, very good chance it will stage a rebound. And indeed the market has just rebounded almost 1,000 points now from the low, okay? More than 1,000 points to be correct, right? 1,000 points from the low. So that's why the next time you see the market, the Dow Jones go down to RSI 30 again, watch out for the Dow Jones. It could be presenting another great opportunity to buy in the market. That's the reason why we do short covering on Monday, because I told you guys that the RSI is near 30. And of course, that was the reason why the market goes up. Now, of course, this is one view on it. But the second view, I want to take a look at this point here. Let's look at it now. Let me just draw for you. Now I look at it, the RSI now is back to about 50 level already, right? Can you see? It's at 50 level. Then I do a very simple back testing. I realized that the last time we see 50, right? The market already went up by so much. Can you see that? Okay, and that is actually in percentage form. This is the recovery. The recovery is even more, right? The percentage form is even more because the price was lower, right? Then you look at it again, the last time we saw something like this, where the RSI hits from the low end, hit the 50 mark, the magnitude was even bigger. Can you see now? So now what I'm trying to say is, do you realize that this magnitude now is actually much, much smaller in terms of points and percentage at the same time? Do you see that? For those who can see what I'm trying to explain here, please key number 1 right now. If you can understand what I just said, please key number 1 right now. Okay, good. Okay, the numbers are coming in slowly. All right, today's a really pretty tough one. Okay, all right. So thank you for able to see this. All right. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that, right, this tells me that the strength is no longer the same impact as compared to the last 2 incidents. Okay. So because of that itself, right, then I draw the trend line, which is here, A, B, and C. Okay. So obviously, incredibly, the market basically broke below C, and now it tries to go and retouch back the trend line. Now, in technical analysis, okay, in common TA, this is actually a very important turnaround point. Now, what I'm trying to explain is like this. This is the extrapolation of the chart view of this area here. So what I'm trying to explain is very simple. Okay, guys, we are going to see likely a possible all-time high again. Yeah, possible, right, to above 35,000. Because the way it's structured now, right, if the market goes back into the trend, there's a very high chance that the Dow will go to new all-time high, right? Now the NASDAQ is at all-time high, the S&P is at all-time high, so the Dow is the only one that's not at all-time high. Hence, therefore, there is a possibility to see all-time high, okay? Now that's one way to look at it. Now the negative view is that, right, the market kind of like resisted at this point here. This is a trend line. And if the market cannot stay above the trend line, then there is a very good chance we could see a pretty decisive pullback, which can be about probably 1,800 points from where we are here. Okay, around here. From this point here, we could see a 1,800 points pullback, okay? So that's the reason why today's session is so important, because it's going to give you a very clear indication of the upside and the downside. of the market. Okay, so that is the reason why I want to tell you all this information, because today's MAO I added more stuff. That's why we started a bit late, because it seemed to be there's some critical thing that you have to think of before you engage into trading, all right, for the next week market. Okay, so I repeat myself, we are at a very crossroad of a all-time high or a 1,800 point drop. Okay, so traders, you need to be very careful, and there's no coincidence for the RSI to stay at 50, because in my trading career, I know that whenever the RSI closes at 50, there's an absolute reason for that. Okay, so are we clear with this presentation here, that you know that, right? You know exactly what we're looking at? If yes, please key the word clear, CLEAR. All right, please do that. Okay, all right. I had to keep on refreshing my handphone to see the things properly. Okay, all right. So all cool with this. Okay, so that's the reason why I say that we are at the crossroad, the crucial point, the flip point that is going to happen the next few days. Okay, so watch this very, very closely. All right. Now, to be a successful TWB trader, I tell you guys every day I'll bring up someone. Okay, must be a very good trader, investor, to share their quotes of the day, how to be a good trader or investor. Right? Never ever argue with your trading system. I think this is very, very, very clear from Michael Coble. All right, never ever argue with your trading system. Okay, it will never get you anywhere. And face it, it's probably not the system fault. You know what I mean, right? If it's really doing you no good, then change it. Okay, so that's the reason why tomorrow I'll be talking about gold. All right, I'll be talking to 108 people about gold, and I'll be telling them exactly what to look out for gold. I'll talk about day chart trading, intraday trading, the BMV up, down, and of course, how to catch the big boys, okay? Momentum, all right? So these four things will be shared tomorrow during this special group session, goal session, okay? And of course, if it's good, right, obviously we can actually, do another one for Dow, NASDAQ, whatever. But primary is this, all right? I only really want people who would understand that they have to believe in the system. If there's no chance of believing in the system, then it's no point coming and attending it. That's why I'm very happy that despite we keep on saying this, people still want to continue coming in. All right, so I will see you guys, those 108 people, tomorrow at this 10:30 a.m. I think, or 10 a.m. Yeah, I can't remember the date, the time. All right, so I'll see you guys on that. Okay, so there are many, many, many good reasons why the market stay bullish. Okay, let me continue. Let me share with you. First of all, wow, look at it. For the fourth straight day, the most shorted stocks, okay, are rallying. So basically, those who short the stocks the last few days, about 5-10 years ago, they are now in trouble because every day the boys are squeezing it up. All right. So who are they doing? It could be retailer. Well, I can tell you this maybe a little bit, but primary is actually more towards the boys, okay? So they're squeezing all the short sellers, okay? And this is what's happening. And that's the reason why the stock market is going up. Thank you, Eric, for confirming 10 a.m. Okay. All right. And of course, what you saw is that the small caps continue to rally. But interestingly, right, okay, the overall market, the Dow was up, small cap was up, the NASDAQ was kind of flat. And I already tell you guys that even though NASDAQ is doing okay, but be very careful. I covered yesterday. So I'm just telling you that maybe just be more careful with the NASDAQ counters. And I give you the fundamental reason really is because of all the information that like the Dow, the Federal Reserve, potential tapering and stuff like that. Okay. Now, this is where I want you to take a look here. This is why the market has been going up relentlessly. This is the SPY ETF, and you can see very clearly it's all right. The S&P 500 simply track the balance sheet of it. In short, every time when the S&P come down to the 50-day moving average, now this is using simple moving average, simple. You can see that uniformly every time it hits there, the market will just rebound. And I'm pretty sure that other than TA, right, this is very artificial, all right? So I would like to take a look here itself, right, as this picture behind, but I think it's being, right, but never mind. I want you to hear what Henrich had to say with CNBC, and that is very important because that will, later on there's about a few charts that's done by him. Okay, so you guys know who is he. Let's hear him out.
Ordinarily, I'd love to get your take on Fed macro, but just on this buying the dip mentality in tech that you say reigns relentless, how long lasting is it? Does it make you any more cautious on that space?
Well, look, in general, the buy the dip has worked with the Fed's balance sheet expanding month after month to new highs, and the S&P just keeps following that track. Just the dips into the 50 MA being bought. It's basically the 2013 script when we had the same kind of liquidity avalanche. With tech in particular now, what's interesting when you look at new highs, you always want to look at the participation and the internals as they come about. And on the technology sector right now, these latest new highs this week have been the weakest readings internally that we've seen all year. New highs on the NASDAQ were only about 122 yesterday. Back in February was 600, in April was 250, so it's kind of declining. Another measure here is the 50-day moving average participation. They were at 88 in the earlier highs in the year, and yesterday was only 62. So what this points to is an internal weakening in terms of participation. And for those highs to be sustainable, you really want to see a broadening out of that participation.
I did notice today that the FANG Plus index, although up 10 for the year to date, is still the weakest first half in about 5 years. I wonder where you think it leaves some of those names in the more speculative space in mobility and EVs that have had obviously a rough 2021. Does that gap get filled?
That is an interesting one because, we look at markets as general being just a steady bull market here and the indices from the SPY to NASDAQ and what have you. But what's fascinating is the absolute carnage that's actually been taking place. Tesla peaked in January, dropped 40%. We saw that with SPACs the same way, and of course, like companies like Oracle, Coinbase, as you mentioned. So these stocks have actually seen significant drops, significant damage for anyone buying them late. And what we need to see for these stocks is an improvement in terms of their charts. And they've gone from bear flag to bear flag to bear flag. Tesla made some progress today, getting above the 50 MA. And as long as that's sustainable, then that's positive for the stock for further upside, for example. So if these come along, then yes, but they're also still in bear flag. So we got to be very cautious here on how these technicals evolve.
So then tell me, what do you think, revisiting a theme we touched on with Dan Niles earlier in the week, as easy money from the Fed dries up, who in tech gets hurt?
Well, I think the big FANGs would ultimately get hurt if interest rates rise. I mean, we saw a little bit of this last week, right? I mean, the notion that the 10-year drops and we immediately see a positive rotation back into tech just underscores how important the yield equation is. And to me, the 10-year is really critical to watch. We've been kind of in a lower downtrend on the 10-year, but it's got a bullish pattern. I mean, as long as it stays above 141 on a sustained basis, it has potential to move higher. And then I think tech is going to be at risk here.
Sven, good morning. It's Deirdre. You mentioned the more speculative trades, Tesla, SPACs, and you also said in your note that you're impressed that the larger tech sector hasn't seen any fallout from the drop in these trades. Why do you think that's the case? Are they disconnected?
Well, this is what we saw kind of in 2000. It's very interesting. In 2000, the tech bubble burst in March, right? But the large indices were unaffected for months. I mean, we had a big chopping trading range in the Dow, in the SPY. So the question to me is, are these things getting hit hard on the speculative side, a sign maybe that the overall larger asset bubble is at risk and that there's a lag factor? So far, we have not seen that evidence. But if we see new highs fail on the larger indices, I think watch out, because we just saw a trend break, for example, in the Dow in the last week, and that's trying to repair itself. There's technical damage underneath, despite the new highs. So I think in general, I think we need to keep a very close eye on, because these markets are so extended historically, since we haven't had a single correction since last fall. There's always larger reversion risk on the trigger.
Okay, so you have just watched Steve Henrich, what he has to say. So you can give yourself that he's a very, very learned person. He knows exactly what he's trying to say. But of course, he's kind of towards the bearish side at the moment. And the video was about 2 days ago. So the data, you may not see, hey, how come it's like different from yesterday's market? Okay, so this is the thing that I want to share with you. Now, before that, I'll show you something here. Now, this is the reason why the stock market itself, right, is so strong. And you can see that year to date, right, the equity inflow to the market is not hundreds of billions of dollars. Look at it. It's 1.2 trillion. Oh my goodness, 1.2 trillion dollars worth of equity inflow, all right, in a one single year itself. Oh my God. And that's 2021. That means the last 6 months, we just saw a 1.2 trillion, okay, 1.2 trillion. So that is the reason why the stock market itself cannot come down. And that's the reason why the market is relentless, okay, it's continuing going up. All right, so that is a very important thing that you must understand, okay? All right, so guys, you guys understand where I'm coming from? All right, sorry again, I said I'm having a bit of difficulty seeing any of your messages because I'm using handphone. And of course, there's a lot of messages keep on coming in. So I kind of like, pretty difficult to adjust and, concentrate here and there. So if I happen to miss your message, all right, I'll come back to you later, all right? Apology on that. Okay, yeah? Okay, all right. Now, Susan Go Live has been ongoing. And of course, after 1 week plus, she's doing very well. And of course, there will be losses, that's definitely for sure. She will share with you her trades. And of course, she's very open with it. And she tells you, okay, I win, I lost, and stuff like that. So end of the day, it's a learning process that we're trying to build over here. And I know that no one in Singapore does that every day, all right? And in fact, that's not only every day. Susan will do it on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the evening. So total 1 week, 8 times. Oh my God. 1 day, every week, there's 7 days, and we're doing 8 times. So that is a type of commendable spirit and determination for us to basically help you in the market. And even tomorrow is a Saturday. I'm also committing my time to make sure that I train you guys to do well in your trading with gold. So all this commitment has only one final destination, is to really get our TWB family so big, right? So later on, when we have our vision to have a crazy coin on own, and of course to be financial free later on, all these is building towards there. And that's the reason why we are putting all the effort now. It's just like telling myself that I work hard for 3 years to have 30 years of good time, right? So why don't you guys join me together, all right? Join us together. Okay, cool. All right, so if you think that you are able and you see the similar vision that you will also want to join us, hit the word join, J-O-I-N, right? You will want to join us, okay? Join the TWB family to achieve financial freedom together. What do you think? All right. Thank you, Eddie, for the comment. I say apology for the late reply, or, I cannot see this because I say I'm having a bit of difficulty adjusting to, multiple equipment. And of course, I must look down because I'm not ready yet. So I think it's all the way okay. All right. So we can see that. Okay, thank you, Eddie, Cheng Kui, Jasmine, Eric, Richard Yo, King Hua, or you say will join us. Fantastic. All right, thank you very much. All right. Well, okay, having some animation issue right now. Not too sure why. It was already prepared earlier. Okay, let me just. Okay, hold on. Something is wrong. Okay. Okay, anyway, let's look at local news right now. Okay, local and global news. Okay, first of all, apparently from AP News that almost all the COVID deaths in US are now among unvaccinated. I kind of feel that this is a very, not very fair statement, because obviously the deaths earlier itself were all because of not vaccinated, right? I mean, if you're telling me that if recent deaths are still people who are not vaccinated, maybe I just buy it. So I kind of feel that this article is a bit, construed in a way that not very fair. But nonetheless itself, right, well, we are now having a bit of thing happening in the whole world. Everybody seems to be like opening the door to accept COVID. Really, even the variant, the Delta Plus. Basically, I went through the news. Everybody seems to be ready, and even Singapore, we are also ready, right? Apparently now, we are preparing for mid of July. There's a very high possibility that we have 2 people dining to 5 people dining. And of course, the question is this: are we really ready? Now, I think in terms of vaccination, we're definitely there, but in terms of the variant, right? How is it, right? Will it affect us? All this thing is kind of be looking at. And of course, at the moment now, the people in Singapore are really going for this Sinovac. Even my wife asking me help where to get this Sinovac, because apparently all the clinics now is all fully booked. Okay, fully booked. So if anybody, you have very concrete, very sure that you know that which particular clinic has Sinovac available, kindly PM me on the site, because my wife said she will only take Sinovac, because very clear, because she's from China and she wants to go back, and apparently China will only accept this Sinovac injection. So apparently that's the reason why she need to do that. Okay, so guys, let me know if you have very sure, confirm understanding that there's opening available in clinics. Which one? Let me know. PM me on the site. Thank you. All right. Now, the thing is this Delta COVID variant has a real new mutation called Delta Plus, okay? You can read about it. So basically, in short, it comes from India. And of course, the thing is, it's causing a bit of problem and people getting worried because the spreading of it is pretty fast. And of course, it has spread to about 83 countries already. Oh my goodness, okay? All right. So it's really, cases, but also in other countries, 92 countries apparently. All right, so all this telling you that, right, this is going to be worse than last year. But the market is not affected, right? Exactly, the market is kind of not affected. So that's the reason why there's no much reason to panic at the moment, because if the market is not affected, then you just have to follow with the flow, right? Isn't it true? So that's the reason why, once again, I am sharing with people that, the financial market is now on its own driven power, right? It just doesn't care nor bother anymore, because there's so much money in the market. There's no way the market is going to care, because as long as we are paying with cash, I will just give you the stock. And that's the reason why now the thing just keep on spiraling upwards, okay? All right. So apparently now this Biden, although he's been doing a good job, okay, he says that more Americans will die as the Delta variant spreads, okay, and it's going to happen, okay. He seemed like telling you that, hey guys, if you don't get yourself vaccinated, right, you're just going to be open to this virus and you can hit. So he has already mentioned that 600,000 Americans have died, and he says that there are more people going to get hit, and especially the younger people. So that's why he keep on reminding younger people that don't think too much, just go for it, get your vaccine done. Okay, maybe he should follow what Philippines does, you see. Okay, so guys, if you're still thinking of getting vaccinated, right, think about this. It may help you. Now, for me, I'll say that again, I will just or see myself. But my health condition, I got some what they call previous medical problem in my lungs, so it's not that safe for me. I'll check with some medical authorities on this before we go into that. But again, guys, if you can, just go for it. I mean, no harm, right? Seemingly at the now, all looks good. Okay, now this Gulani is going to be bad trouble. All right, we all know that during the Donald Trump election time, this particular ex-mayor, lawyer, basically was very vocal, and he said that with me being a lawyer, I will be able to tell you things and stuff like that. But apparently now he has landed himself in hot soup, because now he's suspended from practicing law. All right, so apparently he has some false claims. Apparently the word's false claims on him. All right, so the thing is this. I'm not too sure, but the thing is, if he's dumb or the other power is stronger. But nonetheless, this is what happened. That's a global news. And of course, yesterday we talked about UFO again. Somebody just probed me and said, "Kel, are you sure we're talking about what UFO?" Now it's serious, because you must understand, Donald Trump, before he left Pentagon, he already said this, all right? During his 2.3 billion omnibus spending, right? He also got put down there that within 6 months time to compile what the government know about UFO. Yes, right. That's rocketing around the American airspace. And it was supposed to be out today. Really? That's why I said, I remember that. Now, I'm not telling you there's any conspiracy theory here. I'm not telling you that the market is going to be controlled by UFO and stuff. I'm not saying that. Please do not put words into my mouth. I'm just telling you that this is what I remember, what Donald Trump says. And I believe you guys have remembered, right, back then when this Obama was a president, the first thing his kids asked him was that, is there UFOs or aliens in the world? And you look at it, with the way he replied was very smart, very smart, the way he said, he replied but didn't give you the answer. You know, that idea? Yeah, indeed. So obviously, I think it's everybody's kids to ask a president, is there alien in the world? All right, I think this is very clear. But of course, again, this is just only a advice and things that is real, because it's like on the White House, okay? All right, now the one that stunned the market this morning was Mexico. All right, Mexico central bank surprised economies by switching to monetary tightening. All right, this is very important, okay? Because apparently Mexico, they did not go through the normal way. They did not do the tapering. They straight away jumped straight to the raise of interest rate. So this was shocker because it's like everybody was expecting them to go slow. And then, of course, this is actually a slap in the face for Jerome Powell. And obviously, this is why the concern is there. So whether or not, right, is this going to be the starting point? But of course, you can say, but Mexico is a very small country in terms of economy. So it's not a big deal. But nonetheless, this is actually definitely a shocker. Okay, but did the market have any effect on this? Well, it doesn't seem to happen. So again, all right, I tell you once again, as long as the market is able to absorb all this shocker, seriously, all these big bad news will only come as part of the problem later on. Okay, so this is what's happening right now. You can see that the forecast was for the year itself is still at a higher level. Then suddenly it just went up. Okay, the key interest rate. Okay. All right, now, yesterday I did mention about the US Economic Calendar and kind of almost all spot on. Remember, I told you that the core durable order will be lesser than the 0.8. I said 0.4. It came 0.3. So, okay, kind of okay. Then I told you the GDP will be about the same. All right, it happened again. Then I told you that initial jobless claim will be higher. And again, I'm spot on. All right, so basically I was spot on for 2 out of 3. Not too bad, right? Am I correct? Those who were online with me yesterday, did I say all this in this manner? Or did I actually didn't present it as it is supposed to be? What do you think? Was I correct, right? I did say that the durable will be lower, the GDP will be flat, the same number, and the initial claim will be higher. Did I tell you that? Just to verify, if you can remember, recall, just tell me that correct or wrong. Okay, I cannot remember exactly because sometimes there's so many information coming in. I just go with it. Oh, thank you, Fred. Thank you. I was correct, huh? Okay, thank you. Okay, it's all this reading that gave me a bit of insights at the end of the day, but just a bit of luck. Okay, nothing else. But did the market go down? Nope. The market went up. The Dow Jones went up. The Dow Jones went up 300 points. The NASDAQ was flat a little bit, but still all-time high. So what is here, guys? I'd like to repeat to you, my friends. We can have our forecast, we can have our prediction, we even have the data on your hand, which is telling you the market is negative. But if the market is full of money, liquidity. Now, George Soros said this, Warren Buffett said this, and Paul Tudor Jones, Stanley Druckenmiller, all these billionaires say one the same thing. Liquidity is king. You understand my point? Yes, I've been telling you guys the same thing over again. All right. The point is this, is like you can be a worse businessman. Really, any business you do, you touch, always fail. But because you have money or your daddy has the money, he can write you open checks every time you fail, then theoretically you didn't fail. Yes, in the eyes of people, right, you failed in all the business, but you're still having your Lamborghinis, your big cars, your big homes, having great meals. End of the day is that in life, it's just like that. So of course, is there a penalty? Would there be a penalty to pay? Definitely, there will be a penalty to pay. But the question is when? All right. So I'd like to just bring you a later part. I will tell you what this Benedict Chin, remember? Our good friend last Saturday. All right. He has shared something very interesting with me, and I will later on read up to you. So in case I forgot, right, when we hit the alternate market views, right, just kindly text me what did Benedict says. Okay, I will share with you. All right. Thank you once again. Appreciate it, Benedict. Appreciate your out of nowhere sharing. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. Okay, so the Dow Jones yesterday really went up all the way. The moment it opens, boom, went up already. Then it went flat for a while, but we all know that when you do this type of pump up and flat, it's almost 100% that it will be pushed up again, which actually really happened, and usually will end at a high, and it really also happened. So all this is very typical Federal Reserve move. I mean, no, think about this. Who in any retailer insanely will drag for 2 hours of not buying, and then suddenly the price go up again, it chase after it again, and after that for the next 3 hours it just keep quiet on this. This is only done artificially. It cannot be done by any human being. All right, it's really done by non-human. It's like more about the algorithm. It's just telling you, I don't care today, I just want the market to be up. I don't care how you do it, just get it done. You know the type of feel? Yes, this is what I'm seeing right now in the market. Now, I'm in the market for 21 years. I have never seen a market behaving like that. Seriously, I've never seen a market behaving like that. How many of you can agree with me that you have never seen before? How many years you're in the market doesn't matter. Any stocks or indices you have seen, you have never seen a market behaving so structured and so regardless of incidents, valuations, news, anything. What do you think? In case I'm wrong, I'm only like 21 years in the market. Some of you may have 30 years, 40 years experience, right? How many of you really have share the same feel that I have right now, that there's never been seen before? Okay, so of course you have to have the credential to speak this. That means that you have been in the market for a long time and you can validate that whatever you are sharing right now is really, really true. Okay, that is going to be very important to us. All right, if you have that type of same feeling, just let me know. I say once again, I really apologize this morning. I really like jumping around because I am not able to concentrate carefully because I need to check the data. My handphone, I need to swipe again, you know. Okay, so we have there Fred saying that, yes, indeed, a great manipulation. Eddie also say he agree with that, okay. Then this Dan Ho also say that. Oh, Uncle Arun, you also agree with me. All right. And of course, Carl say trash the fundamentals. Okay. All right. So the thing is this, but does it mean that we cannot buy? Of course can buy. Like what Uncle Arun say, right? Just buy la. Correct? Because since the Federal Reserve has no indication of stopping. Like the last FOMC, they already tell you that they are going to still continue to put 120 billion. So really, the market have no other way to go. It's up. It's just like, even though you are stuffed and you're very full, but I'm so sorry, I need to stuff you further. You know, the Dow feeling. So the Dow Jones S&P 500 closed at record high level. Let's take a look what happened. Because number one, Joe Biden declared the White House struck an infrastructure deal with the bipartisan group of senators. Okay, fair enough, it's a good deal. Then of course we have the NASDAQ also up, the S&P also up, and because this infrastructure deal conclude the $579 billion in new spending. Okay. All right. So again, with this new spending, that, you know, this is a deal that is going to happen, right? So the question is, of course, you need to be passed. But again, like I say, they control, so it will go through. Now the question is this, Cal, how come they pass through this deal and the dollar still stays firm? That's my point. That's my point. The market doesn't care. So that's the reason. And of course, that basically brought financial, energy, communication all higher. All right, even Tesla went up yesterday. Okay, so the jobless claim shows a total of 411,000 people for the week, which is much higher than the 380,000. But again, the economists, who cares them? Doesn't matter anymore already. This already tells you that the market is coming back to life, okay? Even though the numbers are getting worse, okay? So I can't understand what I'm trying to say, but again, it doesn't matter, okay? No, I really kind of understand really when I was reading this MAO this morning, right? This song keep on coming to my head, you know? It doesn't matter anymore, right? Anyone know this song, this lyrics? And this is the thing, is that this song I always like because this song basically really rocks the young people back then, about 15 years ago, I think. Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore, all right? So, and now with the bank shares all waiting for the annual bank stress test, which after market came out, right? So of course, again, straight away, that's why the Dow Jones this morning is trading higher, because now the banks can really use their money, which is AKA taxpayers' money, and go and buy shares. So of course, that's the reason why, again, you see that Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan all bought in ahead. So doesn't that tell you that they already know that you'll go through? Don't you find that this is really outright? I mean, seriously, don't you find that they know the answer? Because think about this. They are the one who gave the reports to the central banks to do all the validation. So obviously, they will know they pass or fail, right? And of course, as a phone call to their friends and counterparties, they will know. So that's why I tell you this. All these are outright, man. This is all BS in my opinion, but doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter anymore. All right, the market right now very clearly is that no matter how, whether it's inflation, earnings report, infrastructure, anything, it doesn't matter. As long as the Federal Reserve is in the house, the market will just keep on going, okay? All right, let's follow the boys. Follow, baila. Yay, okay, I give you the thing over here, yeah? Okay, all right. So that is really what's happening right now in the Wall Street. Okay, so let's look at the indices and look at how you should trade it yesterday. All right, just follow the trash, follow the boys. Okay, just follow them. Okay, now this is something very interesting. Okay, now yesterday we saw the opening price was here, right? And I told you the KSI is red, right? So I told you guys, if the market is going to go up, it will go to KTR plus 1, the most KTR plus 3, right? That is what I said yesterday. But I did tell you, if the market stays below OP and stay below 33,897, the Dow will go down. All right, that is if the Dow stay below pivot 2. But the problem is this, the Dow still stay above the OP, and because it stay above OP, it will trigger the pivot 2, which will give you the right to buy at CCRY. And of course, if the market can go above pivot 1, it will go even higher. Correct or not? All this is really something that you learn from me. But the question you may have in your mind is that, Cal, why the KSI is red? How do we interpret with this? How come the KSI can be red in color and then the market goes up? Now, I told you guys many times again and again, I said that the KSI is to tell you the sentiment from yesterday brought forward to today. And likely, usually it will follow through. But if the market has another reason to buy or to sell, example, they will express it through the charts. And of course, how did they do it? Let's take a look. Now, what happened right here is that straight away, the market triggered the pivot 2 and the OP and did a CCRY immediately. So that's the first wave. Then after that, what happened? Okay, there was no trigger point, but here is the trigger point. Can you see that? CCRY trigger KTR plus 1. Now they're in BNB, but you can see the KSI all the way was green color. Now, of course, when it was here itself, right, some traders were asking me, Cal, the RSI is a bit high, it's coming right down. What do you think? And I told you that, look, the KSI is still green. So that means the boys are buying. So anytime the market comes down, it will be a buy instead. And truth be told, you can see that if you follow through, you have probably make money. And of course, if you can hang on all the way, you can see this above OP, above pivot 1, CCRY, buy. And you see that? And this morning, again, you're up by 150 points in profit already. So you see that it doesn't change, even though that what we can tell you, fundamental, the forecast, the prediction, all this, end of the day, you realize that the answer is still the same. It has never changed. The way the thing is structured, the way you can buy and sell, everything is there. And you realize that all the interesting color change normally will just happen magically at the important trigger point just by itself. It's not that we purposely only buy a trigger point. We have to come with a color change. So the color change must happen first. The question I'll ask is that why did the color change happen at a trigger point? Why would it happen there? Why not earlier? Why not later? But why is it mostly at a trigger point? And the amazing part is this, once at a trigger point, the market will react. So that's the reason why I keep on saying this. If we actually concentrate only at trigger point with the color change, I can tell you this, very good chance you're going to make money. Right, this is why I'm trying to say you that the system really works. Okay, so got an idea now? Okay, cool. Okay, let me just toggle again. I think I need to invest in the tablet on the side next time. Okay, all right. So that is what happened to the Dow Jones once again. All right, so all cool with this? Okay, yeah? All right. So let's look at the market right now and let's see. Okay, let's bring it in. There we go. Okay, now the Dow Jones, the MA, wow, look at it. The Dow Jones is now trading way above the MA 30. Okay, so now we need to put the numbers here. MA 30 is at 34,233. So I'm gonna put it there. 34,233. Okay, so now the Dow is trading at 34,322. So we are like 100 points away from the MA 30. So that's why there's no reason to panic. Okay, now only if the market loses the MA 30, then we talk. Okay, so the last time when this happened was here. Okay, all right, the last time when this happened, the market loses MA 30, then the market fell down all the way. But remember, right, the first time when the market hit all-time high, I told you guys to watch out for the ATH, sorry, the 5% marker, right? And indeed, the market came down and rebounded. Of course, the time people complain, say, Cal, the time you haven't given us an indicator, so it's not fair, we didn't know about this. I said, okay, fine. So what happened is, this time around, we gave you the indicator, right? We gave it for free. We gave it to you for free. And the market really hit this 5% mark and again rebounded. You see that? So again, this is really telling you that it works. Okay, so this 5% thingy seemed to be getting better and better. But of course, this time, the first time it just touched and rebound. the previous time it touches it, close below it 1 day before rebounding. So of course, there seems to be some heavy selling at the moment, but as long as the MA30 is there, you don't need to worry, okay? Now, today's MLP, let me just bring it in, is somewhere around here, okay? And of course, that will be all, because the remaining is not that important. So I'll just bring it down here. Not to confuse you, okay? All right, so these are the levels to watch out for the Dow Jones. As long as the Dow Jones stable MA30, there's no reason to be panicking, all right? Now, the weekly chart, once again, we have the cross down of the small time frame, the near-term trend line and the long-term trend line. And of course, the market broke down. But once it hit the BNB, the weekly BNB SL level, you can see that incredibly, the market just know where to stop and we rebounded. Of course, now you are back to the crossroad, whether we're going to stay to see all-time high or going to pull back again. We'll let next week market tells you, okay? All right, so let's look at the NASDAQ. Now, NASDAQ, we are all at a new all-time high level, okay, yesterday. Now, NASDAQ way doing better. The MA30 now is at 13,991. So with that, it's very far away to be panic over this, okay? So 13,991 is the NASDAQ MA30, okay? All right, right now for you, you may not be able to see it, 13,991 for today. So that means that as long as the market doesn't go below 13,991, the NASDAQ is still kind of safe, okay? All right, so that's what happened. Yesterday I talked about NASDAQ already, so I won't go too much into that. And of course, last one will be the S&P 500. Now, S&P 500 also at new all-time high level. So at the moment now, the MA30 will be here, slightly higher now, 42.26. Okay, 42.26, and MLP something like this. Okay, so in short, the MLP is at 42.58 level, and the MA30 is at 42.26. So once again, as I said, okay, as long as the market doesn't break MLP, there's no reason to be concerned. And even if it breaks MLP, all right, even if it breaks MLP, it may come back down and then rebound again. So MLP works both ways. It can be the point for support. It can be a point that it will break and go down lower. It could be a point by a touch and then recover. So MLP is a very critical level in technical analysis for the TWB student. All right, it's actually previously from PTP. We bring it up to show it to you, and we want you to use it, all right, to your advantage. Okay, so that is why we always want you guys to be successful with the whatever indicator we share with you. Okay, all right. So that is the conventional charts. Okay, let's look at the non-conventional chart, which is our TWB system charts. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, let's look at the Dow Jones now. Now, the Dow Jones today, this morning, we just had to be very careful on two items, that's all. Okay, very simple. Okay, first of all, the Dow Jones opening price is a gap up this morning, and already you have filled up the gap this morning. Okay, so why was that a gap? I told you about the bank shares, okay? The bank shares, all right? But the thing is, because why the KSI is still red in color. I know that many people have been asking me the same thing over and over again. Say, Cal, let's face it, I think your indicator got a problem. I say, why? Because you see, the Dow Jones bottomed out at 33,000, and now it's at 34,000, up 130 points, 1,300 points, okay? Entire movement is up 1,300 points. And yet your indicator is still red in color. Come on, man. I think your indicator sucks. Okay, I just had to say this. Okay, I'm not going to argue this. If you are a new student, probably I need to let you understand how KSI work. But you can go to our this revision group chats and then look for it. Okay. Now, all I can tell you is this: there's nothing wrong with the indicator. It's actually blatantly telling me that I just be very careful. All right, Monday or Tuesday. Okay, why I say that? Now look at it. This is the low. This is the low. This is the low, this is the low, and now where we are. Now, do you notice that the market is going up? That's for sure. So this is the low got higher, okay? Now, all I can tell you is this. Now, it's very unlikely for the Dow Jones to pull back below to yesterday's low, all right? It's very unlikely to happen now, put it this way. But subsequently, okay, if any time the trading day is kind of short, that means that the last ended price and the low could be pretty near. Anytime if the market breaks below any of the day chart low, all right, with the KSI rate, then very high chance there could be profit taking later. All right, there could be profit taking later. You understand my point? I give you an example like this. Look at here. This is a low. This is the low. This is the low, right? You notice that the market also rebounded about nearly 1,000 points from the low end previously in May. But you notice that the KSI is also red in color. And when that really happened itself, right? Once the market broke the previous day low, the market go into some selling, okay? So I'm not saying that it will happen again, but I'm telling you it happened many times before. So when I'm seeing this, all I tell myself is that I just be very cautious to the win. I should long, I still go long, but I can do a smaller trade, okay? So at the moment for today now for the Dow Jones, it's pretty clear that the market opening price between pivot 1 and pivot 2, it will be more towards a buy today because it's nearer to pivot 1. But the KSI is red. So as long as the market stay above OP, the KSI sentiment cannot really affect the market upside. The most is like, there's been profit taking in KTR +1. But if the market do go below OP, then of course it's very natural that the market will go down to KTR -1 easily because the KSI day chart is red. Okay, that's how you interpret that. Okay, now for NASDAQ, as I told you guys, NASDAQ has a zebra formation and it seems to be going towards the 1x1 of the zebra, right? So the zebra formation already been drawn here. So that means that if the NASDAQ stays above the top part of the zebra top, then obviously it should be going towards here. And this point, we are looking at about 14,600 easily, all right? So that's the reason why NASDAQ at the moment on technical ground has ability to go towards 14,600 series level, okay? So that's something that you must kind of take notice of that, okay? Yeah? Just give me a moment, some personal message come in again. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so the NASDAQ today, the opening price is very marginally at the pivot 2. So as long as the market stays above pivot 2, likely we're going to go higher because the KSI is green in color. The only thing is that it's a bit lifting, is turning down a little bit. So the upside may be kind of muted, maybe KTR +1 to KTR +2, just a little bit, okay? All right, okay, cool. And hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And last one will be the S&P 500. Now this S&P 500, the KSI is also showing green, so no need to panic, even though the current bar now is red, but doesn't care. All right, as long as the S&P stays above OP, it is going to go towards the pivot 1. Okay, let me just do this, okay? Pivot 1 at 42.87 level, all right? Of course, if the market do pull back, then the pivot 2 will be the first support, 42.59. And because the KSI is green, right, 42.59 should be a very important support level to watch, okay? 42.59. I'll write down for you, okay? 42.59. Very important support level, okay? All right, thank you. Okay, so I've covered that. Let's look at the Hong Kong market right now. Hong Kong, let's go. Now, Hong Kong this morning is still moving higher, okay? It's still moving higher, and that's a pretty good sign at the moment right now. Now, Hong Kong open price is between the pivot 1 and pivot 2, all right? And the KSI yesterday is green, so that's why Hong Kong this morning, once it open, the high chance to go to KTR +1, right? That's what we will know instantly, all right? And do we have that this morning? I believe we have that. So you see, very early in the morning, once the Hong Kong has opened, all right, it came down first, then almost instantly it rebounded and went all the way to KTR +1. Of course, there's no color change that allows us to trade, but nonetheless itself, right, the market really followed the script. And I told you guys that, that is how our TWB system works. As long as you know what to do, you can almost instantly capture such a run like this. Okay, just that simple. Just look at the KSI almost practically every other day. That's a very good chance that you can make some money out of it. Okay, all right, so that is the Hong Kong market. Let's look at the Japan market. Now, Japan market today, also the KSI is green in color. So as long as Japan opens and if it goes up, right, you go to KTR +1. Let's take a look at Japan, KTR +1. And again, exactly the same thing as what I just saw about Hong Kong. Once it opens here, the market really go all the way to KTR plus 1, which is here. At the moment now, it's kind of resisted at the pivot 1 level beautifully, and now comes off. Okay, but still easily KTR plus 1 was activated easily again. So you can see that one simple system you can use throughout the whole world in a way, as long as we have the indicator on the country. Yes, I'm trying to look at how do we do with Nifty India, but apparently it's a bit difficult. But nonetheless, it's all right. I mean, what I'm trying to say is this, our system really works. And imagine now I can say this to even the Japanese, it can be pretty cool, right? All right, let's look at China A50 once again. China A50 now, we are having a pullback from the high, still relatively all right. The whole market is still cool. All right, that's what happened. And today, DAX. Okay, now let's look at DAX. Now, DAX yesterday and the day before, let's take a look. Now, yesterday, the day before, DAX pulls down, all the way down below the MA30. And down today, the MA30 kind of become a resistance yesterday, right? The market hit the MA30 and stayed below. So this is actually a sign to tell us that, right, the MA30 has a very strong foothold over for DAX. So Uncle Arun, today we need to be watching very closely. It's MA30 again, and this number today is 15,600. So which means that as long as the DAX stays above 15,600, we should see the DAX trading higher. And again, it's likely going to test the 15,747 mark, that same number that I've been repeating for quite a while already. Okay, all right, 15,600 will be the level to watch for the MA30. All right, MLP today will be 15,545. Okay, around there. So I believe that today the NASDAQ should, the DAX should gap up, right? So if the DAX gapping up, then I believe that this number, 15,747 should be the main level to watch out for today. Okay, all right. Thank you, Uncle Arun. Okay, so we have DAX, everything all covered, Nikkei, everything done. Let's look at the commodities market right now. Now, this is the gold market yesterday, and you can see that gold initially went up. That's why we make money on the gold. Then after that, suddenly a U-turn and all the way it came off, all right? So what happened to the dollar index, by the way? Let's check the dollar index. I've really got no time recently. I've been pretty busy preparing for other stuff, so I didn't have time. Okay, the dollar index for the day chart actually came down. Yesterday was down. So the question is this, if the dollar index is down, then what causes the gold price to come down? Well, basically nothing. Okay, though if the dollar index is down and the gold is coming down, right, that means that there's just basically people are not very comfortable with holding gold. Maybe they want to buy something that is better, that is more effective, more ROI, and probably the stock market. So that is what happened to gold. And that's why I kept on saying that for gold at the moment now, right, to buy, you can buy, but look at those cheaper level to buy, that'll be a better choice. Okay, so in terms of fundamental news, I don't see any fundamental news recently to talk about. It's all pretty sideways. Just tell you that it's a good time to look at gold and stuff like that, but no really cool buying reason. Now, gold has been trading sideways for the last 4 days. Ever since our event until now, gold have been sideways for 4 or 5 days already. So why? Because do you notice the KSI is red? So despite the fundamental, despite Benedict telling you that gold is a good idea to buy, we also buy gold shares, but our KSI is red. So if we don't believe in our TWB system, if the KSI is red, right, it's kind of pretty difficult for the market to trade higher, at least for now. All right, only when the KSI turn green, then you can see that the market will move. Can you see that? So at the moment now, it's more like consolidation period. We just have to wait. So yesterday, when the market opens between 2 pivot points, all right, the KSI is red. We know that the upside, the most was KTR plus 1, and the downside will easily go to KTR minus 1. So that is what you should have noticed on yesterday's market. And let's take a look what happened yesterday. The market really does that the whole entire day. It was sideways all the way. Then suddenly it went all the way up to KTR plus 1, right? So a kind of happiness. And I did tell you guys to take profit at 1785. I even show you a live screen of the trade done. All right. And what happened? Obviously, you can see that once it hit the KTR plus 1, it just hang there, couldn't really decisively move anywhere. And of course, what happened, if you take a notice on this, you can see that this is the guy that started everything, the BNB here. Now, once the BNB is there, you do the two lines, you know that once the market goes below the line, the gold will come down, and indeed it really came. All right, everything is really able to forecast. You're able to track it and able to trade on it. You just have to be very patient. And once the BNB is there, you know that the probability is going to give you the profit. And I've been doing this, and I can see that the reason is high. So that's why tomorrow during the gold training, right, I'll cover extensively on BNB. I tell you guys, you will love it because there's so much power in this BNB. You're going to like it. I tell you that. You're really going to like it very much. Trust me on this. Okay. All right. So that was gold yesterday. Let's look at gold today. All right. Let's look at gold. Wait, this is the chart. Let's give me a minute. Okay, so this is the conventional chart on gold, and you can see that gold, very sideways for 4 days already. And because you also understand that it's now below the MA30 and it's also below the MA200, okay? So MA30 is on top, MA200 below, and you can see that the market is now below that, and that is usually more selling than buying, all right? Now, the only thing that today is kind of positive is the market now is trading above the MLP. The MLP is at 1776 and now it's 1779. So like it's positive. But of course, we also have been seeing that most of the time in Asia time, gold goes up, but the time come the evening time, gold actually pulls back. So is this going to be like that for a while? Like it's been happening like this for the last 3-4 days. So of course, there's a fair possibility that it will happen again today. All right. So this is something that you just take note of. For the weekly chart, well, the market failed to even cover halfway of the black candle down. So that means that the market is kind of still weak at the moment. That's how I interpret this. Now, silver price, as I told you guys, $25.69 is a very strong support. And now it's trying to test the MA200. Still not there yet, but you can see that it's just waiting for movement. All right. So for us, we just have to be patient, wait for it to break out, then we can look for buy. Now, of course, those will be adventurous. You can try to buy it cheap, and let's hope that the market don't break down further, okay? Now, one thing that I want to be clear is this, to just share with you my personal take here. Now, as much as I don't mind do intraday buying right now because I think it's kind of good price, but this push-up is kind of, we don't feel like it's a bit draggy. And again, I say there is a 3 candlesticks here that is basically white candlesticks, which are very good, fresh chocolate bar. So I'm going to just draw this for all of you. Okay, let me just take this away. Okay, I'm going to take away all these lines away. I want you to just take a look what am I seeing right here now. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is this, okay, if the market is going to stay up, fine. But if the market doesn't stay up, right, and it comes down, I mean that there's a sudden sell-off. That means something like this. That means that the market now is trying to go up, right, very steadily, but trying to go up for silver. And then what happened? All right. And there's a silver here. These are all the levels to watch out for. I kind of suspect that silver may just do a big flush down just to trigger off all the stop loss before actually, forming out the base. So I'm going to give you all the levels here just to share with you my personal view on this. Right. That means that there's one chocolate bar right here, and that's about $25.38. Another chocolate bar will be here, which is about $24.79. I'm going to write it down for you. So 25, 38, and 24.79. These two levels, you can consider put a bid level somewhere around there, and hopefully it'll be a touch and go for you guys on silver, okay? Because I think we are kind of near the bottom, but I believe that there should be one spike. I just don't know why, I just feel that way, okay? Just to wrap it up. Yeah, okay? Anyway, this is my personal view. Hopefully it doesn't really happen so that you guys can be, if those are long already, can make money all the way in, okay? And last one is crude oil. Before that, look at today's market, so sorry. Now for today's our TWB system, the gold is now trading above OP. It's kind of positive at the moment, but there's a problem here. The KSI remains red in color. And of course, the blue bars are still rock at the bottom. Though there's a KCX blinking at the moment now. All right, we still need to have the CCRY for confirmation. So as long as today the market stays above OP, in general speaking, it should be able to go to KTR +1 easily. If the market goes below the pivot 2, which is 1772, the KSI rate and the blue bars are there, then there is a good chance that the gold may come down to 1763. Okay. So today my call is this: if the market goes below 1772, there's a good chance to see 1763. But once you hit 1763, we must watch out carefully. Don't just jump in to buy, because by the time that happens, it could be below. It's below pivot 2, right? It could be more selling, because if you look at the chart right now, okay, on the TWB system, the next chart, and there's a TSCB level, and that's 1740. Okay. So which means that if this were to drop below 1763, if gold stay below 1763, there is a potential free fall all the way to 1740. Okay, potential free fall from where 1763 down all the way to 1740. Okay, guys? So got an idea? Cool on this? Okay, wait a minute. I think I lost you guys already. Okay, guys, so you'll hear me out once again. 1763 will be the main support for the gold today, and 1740 will be the next level that we need to be very careful that the market may be going there. Okay. All right, so these are the two numbers to watch out for today after pivot 2. Okay, 1763, and 1740. Okay. Okay, last one is the crude oil. Now, crude oil continue to stay sideways, and I told you, because it's trying to get momentum, but crude oil, MA is still moving higher. So anytime if crude oil can come down to the MA 30, it will be a lovely time to buy crude oil, okay? So if anytime it breaks down here and it hovers here, it'll be a good time to buy crude oil again. So at the moment now, it's about $70.40 level. Today it's at $73, so it's at $2 to $3 away. So not that possible, but anything can happen. All right, just put a call level. Call level means you put a alert level, and shall it goes there, it alerts you, and you know what to do. Okay, all right, 40 cents. Okay, $70.40. Okay, guys, that is all for this first part of MAO. Okay, if you have any more questions to ask me, you can text it inside there. If not, now I'm going to take a short 15 minutes break. I'll come back with the alternate market views. Okay, thanks. Okay, guys, I'm back. 15 seconds. Okay, if I say wrongly, apology. Right, it's always 15 seconds. Okay, all right. Now let's just continue to the alternate market views right now. Now I've been saying, please. My rational reason why I'm always talking about the market alternate views is give you the balance of the buying and the selling. Always, people will always misunderstand me, and they say that, Cal, because you push the market alternate views at the back, so that you are trying to tell people that actually the main G's at the back. Then if I move it in front, then you say that, oh, okay, the main highlight is in the front. So it's just like the story about the old couple and the mule, right? So basically, right, whether sitting on it is a problem, or walking beside is a problem, or one sit on the problem, it's like never ending. So, but again, because I'm very responsible, I want you guys to have a balance of the whole thing. So that's why I do this thing here. Okay, my job is to just tell you what I'm seeing in the market, and you take the final responsibility to trade. It'll be very pointless to blame someone for your losses and glamorize yourself for your profits, okay? If that makes you happy, I can't stop you, all right? But it is very sad that at the end of the day, despite that all the MAOs I'm doing, people will still use it in a very wrong way, and they will construe it in a way that is very kind of hurtful. So guys, if you think that this alternate market views, the second half, it doesn't make you any better, and you think that it's actually not important, or you think that it's actually very detrimental to your trading, kind of leave now. The reason why this 15 seconds given to you is for you to digest and leave. Okay? If you're going to stay, then listen with an open mind and ask yourself, today the market is going to be up or down with the charts. And if let's say the market is going to be up, then whatever I share in the alternate market views in the second half, you can just put it aside. If today's market is going to go down, then remember what I say in the alternate market views and you try to use it to your advantage. So it's that simple, okay? It's that simple. Don't need to think so deep and think about funny stuff. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Okay, let's continue then. Okay, now the thing is this is actually a 2012 article, and I just kind of love it because it basically tells you where we are now. Okay, this is 2012, by the way, yeah? So basically, right, when there's misinformation, deception, and manipulation, obviously it's moral hazard. Then we malpractice, distortion, and malfeasance. All right, all right, we have this unintended consequences. Okay, where you have mispricing and delusion and malinvestment, we have defunction markets. So basically, don't you realize that we are all having all this thing right now? With all the thing that whatever you can think of, right, is all dotted, all there. So obviously now we have a very dysfunctional market. That is where we are right now. But is it dysfunctional? Well, there are now $8 trillion reason for you to understand how the stock market and the federal balance sheet works together. Look at it. This is from last year. That means that we're talking about last year. We're talking about last year, my bad. We're talking about last year itself, right? Since this time round, look at it. The stock market for S&P 500 from 2,800 now go to 4,200, which is like almost going all the way to 100% mark, okay? And look at the balance sheet. It's like uniformly based on this. And this is from Bloomberg, by the way. It's not I created this, it's from Bloomberg. Yeah? Exactly, yeah. Okay, so you can see that. Thank you, Anna and Judy. All right. So end of the day, you can see that this is really the balance sheet and the S&P is really sticking to it like a glue. Okay. All right. And of course, end of the day, look at it. The hard data is really going really opposite direction. Hard data are the real data that's actually the market. So the hard data is definitely fundamentals. So basically, this is a very snub here itself. It says that there are 8 trillion reasons why the stock market is going up, but one of them is not fundamental. This is very clear. So that's why back then when Anna was talking to me, we were sharing about on MAO, right, Anna? We're talking about, right, the group of people say that the fundamental doesn't care anymore. And I tell you, it doesn't care anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. By the way, that one you should know. Now, look at the VIX indicator. Now, the VIX indicator, I've been telling you guys, you can buy between 14 to 16. And yesterday, we have another sell down at the opening price and then recovers almost instantly. So someone seems to be trying to force the VIX down. And of course, the real market knows that they're trying to do this. They buy in. But if you look carefully in the VIX indicator, every time they do this, it's because they want to trigger the stop loss of traders. So you see that? So every time they squeeze it in, but very interesting, I want to let you know that they buy up again. So after they squeeze it down, right, to trigger stop loss of traders, they buy up again. So this actually tells me that to be very careful, and I think that something is not very correct. And if you actually link all the lows properly together without actually looking at the low, all the spikes, you notice that the curving is coming in. The curving means that, right, although the market is still having new low, but the average curving tells me that there's a bottoming signal around this area. So that is the reason why I believe that, right, traders, as we are climbing up this ladder in the market, just be careful. The VIX indicator has a proper way to inform us. Because look at this. This is a NASDAQ, okay? The NASDAQ versus the VIX indicator. Now, the last time when we see something like this, a triangular, a descending triangle, the thing, of course, the Dow actually came down. But again, that was pandemic, so not really to be precise. But we are actually seeing the same thing right now. And this is from this Steve Henrich, that guy you saw in the video. All right, he's showing this, and I kind of like agree with him in a certain form. And of course, this is the big chart that I want you guys to remember, and this is very serious because I remember this, I can't remember who was the author, but he did say, if I'm not wrong, it was Warren Buffett, not Peter Lynch. He says that, not Peter Lynch, sorry. Yeah, Peter Lynch, all right, not Peter Lim, Peter Lynch, all right? Okay, so the thing is this, don't you realize this is something interesting? Now, the green one is the transportation. Transportation is coming down, but you can see that the S&P 500 is going up. And the last time we see something like this was here, okay? It was something like this, and this was not a good sign. And I always tell you guys, and I heard this before many times, transportation is one of the biggest leading indicator. If it's not moving right, the rest of the market will follow through. But the question is this, it doesn't seem to be happening. Right. Of course, on the flip end, you can also argue that with now this is all going now, it could be a good time to buy because later on the transportation may come after it and then the market will go to a whole new time high. Well, it's all possible. It is possible, but it's just that the divergence is pretty clear right now. Just to be very careful on this, okay? All right, just be careful, that's all. And you can see over here, this is the S&P new highs on the different stocks. You can see that the S&P 500, yesterday was NASDAQ, to this S&P. The S&P is going new high level, but the number of stocks that's at new high is keep on dropping. So that means that the reason why the S&P is going up now is because it's rotational play and they just hammer on a few counters. And obviously we know it's all the FANGs counter. So out of so many counters, only 232 components stocks are actually doing all-time high. So that is very scary. This is very different. So that's why if the market is, if it's going up back then, and you can see that these counters are going all-time high, right? All these are telling you the right sign. But now you're seeing the opposite of this. So that's why some traders tell me, Kel, that means that we just need to do something like this. We take this is the highest point, right? This is the point. So this is the level. If we draw a line there, we can see that there is the pivotal point that we need to watch, correct? Yes, indeed. So if the market breaks below this pivotal point, then there could be some real selling. So guys, you can draw the line yourself on the chart. You tell me whether can you see this. When is that again? That's between May to May 10. May the 1st or May 10, right? During this period of time. So that means that as long as you know where to look out for, you will know where the pivotal point is, okay? All right, May 10, okay? All right. And the last one is this one here itself. This is the NASDAQ counters that's moving above the moving average 50. And again, you can see that it's doing divergence, right? And every time when there's any form of divergence, you notice at the bottom of the screen, there will be a pullback. Now, this is basically stretching all the way until the NASDAQ was at 6,000 point, right? Today it's at 14,000 point. So whenever there is a significant divergence in the market, we do see the NASDAQ pulling down, all right? So once again, you guys, that's the reason why I'm quite comfortable with the NASDAQ at this moment. And that will be all for our this today. But before you go, right, okay, let me just wait on. Is that you want to know about this, the KFC, right? Let's give me a moment. Hold on, There we go. Okay, so this is the KFC. So yesterday, the KFC already crossed the very important this level here, and that level will be 34077. So yesterday it crossed already 34077. So once it crosses here 34077, you can see that instantly the Dow Jones went higher, and that's why now at the moment now the market is actually trading above the KFC point. So as long as the Dow Jones stay above 34,077, the market has really difficulty coming down, okay? Unless the Dow Jones goes below 34,077, then maybe we will see some real selling, okay? All right, so that is what I need to share with you for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this MAO once again. All right, this afternoon, we may or may not have MAO because I got something to do in the afternoon. I will update you guys later through the group chats. Okay, till then again, this is Cal. Oh, sorry. Yes, what did Benedict say? Okay, so sorry about it. Okay, I bring it in. Sorry. Yeah. Lucky Lester, thank you for reminding me. Hold on a minute. Okay, what did this Benedict say? Moment. I'll bring back what Benedict say. Okay, Cal. Okay, because remember we talked about the black swan potential yesterday. All right, so I can just put this chart in. Okay, this is exactly what Benedict says. I'm going to just read out for you guys. Cal, the black swan you mentioned could be a liquidity crunch again. The Federal has increased the reverse operation rate upwards. This has the effect of sucking up liquidity from the money market. Financial institutions can get better rates for their cash from the Fed, and this is risk-free. Come September, the financial year ends, where historically liquidity is tight. This added tightness from the rate increase may blow up in a crunch. Now, exactly what I mentioned yesterday. All right, everything is really hitting on. And of course, Benedict, I'm pretty sure he has his own personal view, and he actually also agree with what I say. So yes, indeed, undeniable, right? The reverse operation basically they want the liquidity from the banks, and the banks is no mind paying because they're not getting money for free because it's risk-free. They are getting all the money, and then they give the Federal Reserve, and Federal Reserve pay them interest. So that is what's happening right now. So why is Federal Reserve doing this? It's a bit of reverse tapering, and also probably they know that they need some money later on. Yeah, they may need more money later on. So that is what actually is probably happening now. And indeed, I did not know this, but about September, historically, liquidity is tight. So this is very in line with the Jackson Hole that I mentioned about this coming August. All right, so all this basically comes from Benedict. Thank you, Benedict, once again for sharing all this. This is great stuff. I hope that you continue to share great stuff with us. And of course, when you share, I will also share with all our students here. All right, that will be all for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this session. Okay, so kind of cool, right? Yes, indeed. Okay, take care, guys. Have a great day. This is Kel signing off. Okay, bye-bye.